I went hiking with the Swedish Outdoor Association a while back. One of the guides was a retired engineer, the kind that built bridges, the kind that builds societies. We started talking about artificial intelligence, and he lamented how he didn't understand any of it, that he probably was too old. That struck a chord in me. This guy, who studied way more math than I did, was probably a lot smarter, thought I probably knew more about AI than he did. Media and society keeps telling him AI is a thing for the young, the geniuses. This is as far from the truth as you can get. In this video, I will go through why smart people feel stupid around AI and why that is a great shade, an issue for society, as we get more and more divided over those in the loop and those that are left out of the AI inclusion bubble. There is an overflow of jargon to make AI sound more terrifying and complicated than it is. I spoke of what coding is for non-technicals in a previous video where I went through the basics and how the basics are what underlie all coding languages, more or less, if you don't count certain machine-level languages. The same applies for AI. It's math. This won't be a crash course in college-level math, but a walkthrough of the basics, a guide to help you get started and know what to read to get on top of and read through the AI jargon soup. In another video, I go through what AI is, more in depth. It might feel like AI came along in 2022 with ChatGPT, and that is quite not the case. Neural networks were conceptualized in 1943. The perceptron, an early learning machine, was built in 1957. Backpropagation, the training method that makes deep learning possible, was published in 1970. Artificial intelligence is essentially a marketing term coined in the 1950s to get more funding for the field of machine learning. And you got to admit, it does sound cool. What was not in place back in the day was the computing power. What might have taken months to compute in, say, the 80s is done in no time at all today. Another issue was also the lack of data. The era of internet brought along data en masse, something that is needed when training AI models. These three factors, computational power, data, and the ability to finally scale algorithms that had existed for decades as algorithms, created the moment where all ideas suddenly worked at levels no one had seen before. We are not riding on hype alone. AI, as it stands today, is truly powerful if you understand how it works, its limitations, and what can be done in the future. If you studied math in college, math like linear regression, linear algebra, and integrals, you are quite fluent in the foundations of AI. You might just not know it, because using old words is not cool. It doesn't sell. So what kind of math does make up the basis of AI tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, and Nano Banana? Let's be honest, when we say AI, we these days need large language models, LLMs for short, like the ones I just mentioned. These sit within the broader field of machine learning, where AI is a subset. Classical AI, the older, logic-based kind, draws on discrete mathematics, constraint satisfaction, and graph theory. Machine learning, including the deep learning that powers LLMs, draws on linear algebra, calculus, probability theory, and Bayesian statistics. Now sprinkle some coding skills and you can basically create your own LLM. So why do smart people feel dumb around AI? It's because of how the term is being explained and used, usually by people who themselves simply don't understand the math or coding behind what underlies the different types of AI, or those who see the upside of complicating things to sell their wares. Complexity sells courses. Mystification creates dependency. Save your time and skip anything that leads with hype. If you genuinely want to understand how AI works, approach it the way you might have approached a broken piece of equipment when you were young, with curiosity, not deference. Open it up, learn the mathematics and code that sit underneath the marketing. And if you're not ready to go that deep yet, at minimum, know this: AI is not new. The ideas have been around for decades. What is new is the computing power to run them, the data to feed them, and the vocabulary invented to make them sound like magic. You are not dumb. You are just being gaslit. If this was useful, subscribe. I'll keep exploring how business and technical thinking can work together. See you in the next one.